Riot just released a new agent for their first-person shooter Valorant, and I personally have some very strong opinions about her. Her name's Killjoy, and she's a German engineer whose abilities are all based around like traps and stuff that she's designed and built for use on the battlefield. Aesthetically, I think she looks pretty cool, but you all know that that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about her gameplay, because her kit has been causing some serious outrage even from before she was released. Lots of high-level players have been talking a lot about this character, but I'm not a high-level player. I am a low-level silver scrub idiot, but if you think that's going to stop me giving my opinions on the character, then you're dead wrong. She's only been out for a few days at the time of writing, so you should probably take my opinions with a pinch of salt, but we're going to press on. Killjoy has already kicked up a bit of a fuss in the community because her kit is quite controversial. High-level and low-level players are already talking about what nerfs she might need. She's already caused many players, including myself, to start screaming overpowered from the rooftops. But what is it about her kit that's actually caused such a reaction? Well, simply put, it looks like she's too good at defending a bomb site. On defense, she can solo defend a site pretty easily and buy enough time for her team to rotate to help her. And on offense, once the spike has been planted, it's extremely difficult for the enemy team to push in and defuse it, because Killjoy has just booby-trapped the entire bomb site. Killjoy's signature ability is her turret, and it does exactly what it sounds like it does. It places a 125 health turret at a target location that will shoot any enemies it can see. The turret seems to have infinite range, being able to shoot any enemy that it can see, no matter how far away they are. It shoots 3-round bursts that do 8 damage per bullet at close range, but will do either 6 or 4 damage per bullet at longer ranges. This ability, when it was teased, made people extremely upset, because people were very worried about how much damage it was going to do. I think that Riot got the damage numbers pretty good, but the ability is still insane, regardless of that. The most common use for this ability is going to be to set up crossfires for yourself when you're defending a site or defending a plant. You put the turret in one corner, and you hide in the other corner. When the enemy tries to peek you, or your turret, the turret's going to start shooting them. And once it's started shooting them, they're basically a free kill. They have to either shoot the turret, and then you shoot them in the head, or they have to kill you, and hopefully you've done enough damage to them to where the turret will finish them off. Another common use is for defending flanks. You put this behind you and your team while you push onto a site, and when it begins shooting, you know that someone's behind you flanking, so you can set up to easily defend the flank. It also tags enemies the same amount that a player's bullets would. For those of you who don't know, tagging is a mechanic that exists in most tactical shooters. When a bullet hits an enemy, that enemy will be slowed down for a short duration after being shot. The tagging in Valorant is pretty extreme. People pretty much grind to a halt when you shoot them in this game, and Killjoy's turret has the same amount of tagging as a player's bullets do. This makes it quite good for sitting on off angles or in strange spots and catching people trying to wide peek a corner. When the turret shoots them, they're basically going to be glued to the floor for a second while you peek them and finish them off. Her turret also combos quite well with the next ability I want to talk about, her nanoswarm grenades. Nanoswarm grenades are basically Molotovs, but they can be placed on the ground and left dormant for an infinite amount of time. Killjoy can then press F while looking at the grenade to activate it, and it releases a fairly large damage-dealing area on the ground. The nanoswarms are invisible whilst they're dormant, but when you're close to the nanoswarm grenade, it emits a noise for the enemies to hear, similar to Cypher's traps.
Swarm grenade.
You have to be pretty close to hear this noise, but it is audible for the enemies and for teammates. The kicker though is that these grenades can be activated from anywhere on the map. Killjoy just has to look at this little marker on the screen for that grenade and then detonate it by pressing F. The damage these things do is insane. It's exactly the same amount of damage as a Brimstone Molotov, but it's almost strictly better than his Molotovs because it doesn't instantly pop when it hits the ground unless you want it to. It can be activated from anywhere on the map at any time as long as Killjoy is alive. The nanoswarm grenades combo very well with her turret because you can place them anywhere that you expect people to be standing when the turret begins shooting them. The moment you see the turrets shooting them, you detonate your nanoswarm and hopefully you kill them. The nanoswarms can obviously just be used like normal Molotovs too. You can throw it in a window and detonate it the moment it touches the ground if you want to. But its most useful cases are going to be for defending corridors with your other abilities, or just placing it on top of a spike so when you hear someone defuse it you can detonate it and kill them. The nanoswarm grenades also combo nicely with another ability of hers, the alarm bot. The alarm bot can be placed anywhere on the ground and it will go dormant, much like the nanoswarm grenades. It goes invisible and it releases a noise to enemies. When the enemies get too close, the alarm bot will trigger and it notifies the Killjoy player and it chases after the enemy and blows up on them, dealing damage and making them take double damage for 2 seconds. This ability is very good at comboing with the nanoswarm grenades, probably even better than the turret is, because it will let you react faster on detonating your grenade than the turret will. The alarm bot can also guard flanks or sit on a spike to defend it. The alarm bot ends up being an extremely powerful zoning tool. Even if the enemies know roughly where your alarm bot is, they have to slowly approach it in order to destroy it and safely push through the point, giving your teammates plenty of time to rotate and help you defend against their push. If they don't slowly push, the alarm bot's going to blow up in their face and you're going to be able to chew through them with your nanoswarm grenades. Something worth noting though about the turret and the alarm bot is that they can be smoked off and flashbanged by enemies, and the bots won't be able to see for as long as the effect persists, so this can allow enemies to rush past your bots with flashes if you aren't prepared for them. All of these abilities combined, ignoring her ultimate, allow her to solo hold a site pretty well. Let's use an example on Bind. I put my alarm bot in hookah with a swarm grenade right next to it. If the alarm bot goes off, I can detonate the swarm grenade to buy time for my team to rotate or even get a kill. I can then put my turret watching long B while also placing a swarm grenade. This allows me to peek when my turret begins shooting, and if I whiff all my shots and miss, I can fall back and detonate the swarm grenade to buy some more time. You can also do it the other way around, put the alarm bot at B along with a swarm grenade, put the turret in hookah, and do the exact same thing. But it makes it a bit harder for your enemy to predict which way round you're going to do it. It's extremely difficult for an enemy team to push this setup quickly. If they try and push it fast, I'm going to be able to clean up with my nanoswarm grenades and my alarm bot. If they push slowly, then it buys enough time for my team to rotate and help me on their push. And all of this is without mentioning the most broken part of her kit, which is her ultimate, Lockdown. Lockdown places down a device that begins charging up, and after fully charging, it will stun everyone caught in its radius for 8 seconds, stopping them from using any abilities or firing any weapons, and it even interrupts spike plants and diffuses. This doesn't sound too powerful until you realise that the radius of this ultimate is absolutely massive. Look at the size of the area it covers on the minimap. Enemies can shoot this device, but it doesn't really matter because if you place it down in a strategic location, there's no way that they're going to be able to destroy it without just rushing your team and dying anyway. This ultimate basically forces the enemies to leave its radius or die. It's incredible on offense and defense because it's incredibly hard to deal with. I wouldn't be surprised if in higher level play, a Killjoy ult on offense is literally just a free spike plant every single time. This ability right here is the thing that I personally think is going to get nerfed. I think that its size is going to get shrunk, or its wind-up time is going to be increased, because it's just going to be too oppressive, especially in the higher level play and pro play with highly coordinated teams. It's going to be impossible for the opposing team to do anything about it. On defense, an attacking team could theoretically play around it if it's used too early, but if the Killjoy player times it properly, it completely kills a push and forces them to rotate or just run away and waste time. This ability is absolutely nuts. I'm surprised Riot put it in the game. Despite all of the whining I've done in this video though, I actually really like Killjoy. I think she's really fun to play, and if she wasn't so overtuned, I think she'd be fun to play against too. She offers a lot of those decision-making situations that strategic games like this thrive off of. And I feel like she's going to be good for the game in the long run, so long as they make her a little bit more fair. Thanks for watching.